Alright, we have a new event, and Izanami's first on the list. A good chance to get those dark ones for the upcoming Kagutsuchi Ultimate. I actually have 3 Kagus that I might want to evolve, so I may need to come back and farm this dungeon. I thought I was done after those skill ups, but we'll try it with Ceres, like I've been doing with some other ones. So starting out on these light and dark demons, you'll get hit with a preemptive attack and a blind. And on their first turn after that, you'll get hit with a gravity attack from the light one and just a normal attack from the dark. So it's a 99% gravity. You'll most likely die. In my case, I do have damage resistance here, and that means that gravity won't be doing that 99% damage. Just the way it's calculated, it works out like that. So I'll survive his attack, like so. There's a gravity normal hit. I almost took him out there too, so that was kind of cool. And after that, they'll just hit you with standard attacks. Once you eliminate one of them, the other one will use a attack boost, which will double his damage. So, similar deal than getting hit with 2 of them in my case. You probably wouldn't survive if both of them were left alive. Light one doesn't have as much HP, about 600k versus 1 million on this dark one. So that's probably the one to aim for when you're trying to clear him out on that first round. After you get rid of that blind. But still, not a whole lot of HP between the two, and best to just get rid of them. So next up is either a light dark Divine Gun or a light water Divine Gun. They do similar things. They'll hit you with the same amount of damage for a preemptive attack, about 6k. So make sure you have some HP at least. After that, they'll just spam about an 11k attack. Once they hit 50%, they'll throw out a bind. The dark one will throw out a 1 sub bind for about 6 turns. The blue one will do 2 subs for about 4 turns. About 1.2 million HP, so not a lot. And after they throw out that bind, they'll either keep using their attack. Actually, they have a chance to use a stronger one at about 17k, but they also may use an orb change. So there's a bind on Kushinada. Good choice there. He had a lot to pick from. Their orb change will change random orb into their attribute, so there's a dark orb change on my heal orbs. The water one will do water, and it's a weaker attack, about 9k damage versus that 17k they have the chance of doing. So it's not too bad to get hit by that. In any case, best to just get rid of them before you get hit with that bind. Not a lot of HP. And once you get into Yomi, she'll preempt you with a blind attack. And she hits a lot harder. Standard attack is about 12k. She has a consistent 40% chance to do a 18k attack. And she also does an orb change like that. That one does the same amount of damage as her normal hit, about 12k. Changes a random orb into that color attribute that she's currently in. So once she hits a light attribute, that move will do the same amount of damage, but it'll create light orb instead. And that was her 18k hit, but since I'm resistant to light and dark, I reduced the damage there. And like a lot of other mobs, once she hits 30%, she'll skip her turn and then start using Change the World, which is just a 150k damage attack. I can survive it with a Kushinada shield coupled with the resistance from Ceres, so it's not too worrisome. And above that, it's pretty tolerable the way I'm running right now, because I'm resistant to both her attributes here, so I can take my time. Let's get those. I have a lot of light and dark orbs on my board here. Alright, we're in light attribute, so we're almost done. Ideally, you'd want to take her out before that change of the world, but if you do happen to put her into 30%, like I just did right there, you do have an extra turn to kill her. I'm going to use a shield just in case, but I do have a row here, so let's see how this goes. And that will probably kill her. Okay, we're good. So next up is a random Kagutsuchi ultimate. Could either be the Fire Light or Fire Dark. So we have the Fire Light here, and I'm actually going to have an easier time of this one than I would the Dark. So let's just go through both of them. The light one will preempt with a full heal, so he's a friendly guy. On his turn, he'll do a 15k attack with a random orb to fire orb change, and this is above 50%. It changes once he's below that. Once he's below 50%, he'll throw out a Devil Bind for about 3 to 5 turns. So be ready for that if you're running a Sonya or Lubu team. And then after that bind, he'll be hitting with 23k attacks each turn. No orb change associated with it, just pure damage. And in contrast, if you get the dark one, he's a bit more troublesome. He'll preempt you with a gravity, 99%, and then his normal attack will hit for 21,700 damage, which in my case I don't have enough HP. If I had a 297 friend leader, I probably would. Or in contrast, if my Ceres were 297, I would. In most cases, you probably won't have enough HP for that. And that also comes with the random orb into dark. And once he hits below 50%, he'll just bind a random unit for about 6 turns. And then he'll start hitting you with a 650k attack. And no amount of Ceres resistance will let me survive that, even if he would be in dark attribute. So if I were fighting him, I would have to really be careful as I got into that 50% threshold. I'd have about 4 turns to take him out. He only has about 1.4 million HP. White Kagu has 1.7. So neither of them have a terrible amount, but I would be limited on my amount of turns to kill him. This one I can take my time a little bit more, because I can recover from the standard attacks here in most cases, as long as I'm clearing out the board for some recovery. And actually, despite not being able to survive a normal hit from the Dark Kagu, if I just staggered my Kushinada shields between them, I think they would be able to refresh in time to just cycle through each one, because he's on a 2-turn interval, 4 Kushinadas, and 8-turn cooldown between them, so I think the math works out right for that. And that would just let me juggle all my shields for each of his attacks. Alright, so here we are, close to 50%. I do need more HP to take a hit here. So let's recover and see if we can't get him down into 50%. Alright, there we go. Here comes a double bind. Conveniently, I'm immune to that. And he no longer fires, so I can be doing a little bit more damage here. And I'm also resisting his attacks because he is now light. So that 23k attack will be pitiful, and I don't have to really do anything. So here it comes. So only 6k, so I can auto recover back from all of those. And he's also not doing the fire orb change anymore, so if I wanted to save up more rows, then I could do that easier. Let's just finish him off here and move on. That should be enough. Alright, let's see which Izanami I get. I do need the dark one. Alright, great. But let's go through both of them. So we'll start with Dark Izanami here. She'll preempt with that reduction in orb time. She takes off 2 seconds, so it's actually a lot. And then she'll cycle through pretty much the entire time. She'll do 8 orbs into poison, hit you with a 17k attack, and then follow up with that by about a 12k attack, which changes a random orb into jammers. So she's hitting pretty hard and hitting you with poison orbs and jammer attacks. Now you can try to, time when you match those poison orbs, but you really don't want them to build up. So if you're low on recovery orbs and you need to take a hit first, then by all means do so and plan accordingly. You also don't have a lot of orb time to get really fancy with your boards. So she's tough. And let's see her poison attack here first. Okay, there's that. And she's going to follow up with that 18k attack. I am resisting dark here, so that works out for me. Makes it a little bit easier. And I left a poison orb up there on accident. Okay, I think she did that before her 18k attack. Maybe I was wrong on the order there. Let's find out. Interesting. I thought she did it the other way. Okay, so maybe it's poison, jammer, and then 18k hit. Alright, so here's a poison. Okay, yeah, poison jammer and then 18k damage. So, and she'll do that the entire time. The only change up she'll do is once that orb time debuff wears off, she'll refresh it. So that's a free turn there. And then at 50%, she'll bind all gods for 1 to 3 turns. And that is all she does. Light Izanami is troublesome in a different way. She'll hit you with a skill bind for 10 turns. So if you do not have any skill bind resist guaranteed, then be prepared to either kill her manually or just, survive her onslaught until that wears off and you can actually use your skills. It's a bit silly, I think, but that's the way she goes. And while she's, basically her attacks will either be 13k damage for light to dark, or with a light to dark orb change, or she'll also do a fire to water. No, she'll do a green to fire orb change. Once she hits 50%, she'll change that light to dark into fire to water. That'll hit for about 14k. She'll still use her green orbs into... Let's get a match in here first. She'll still use green into fire, so that one's still about 12k. And then she does have a finishing move at 30%, and instead of skipping her turn, she'll change about... She will change 3 attributes into jammer orbs. So don't expect to have a great board when that happens, if that happens. Unless you have a full board orb change like a Chinese god or a Sonya. After that, she'll hit you with a 32k attack. So you'll need either delay or shield to take that. If I were fighting her, you know, I want to be able to resist that because she would be in water attribute. And I want to be resisting her damage like I would while she was in light. Especially I might run into trouble here once Izanami gets into fire, because she will be resisting my damage and I won't be resisting her damage. So we'll be trading places. We'll see how I do. It doesn't help that I'm getting all these orb changes on here, so that means it's harder to save up my green orbs. And both of them have a lot of HP. Dark Izanami is about 4 million, about 3 million on Light Izanami. So if I wanted to time this well, I'd go in, you know, when her orb time debuff was wearing off, which it is about to on the next turn. Alright, so there's a jammer attack. So let's get a row in here, see if I can get that orb up there. I do have some orb time now, so that was a good opportunity for it. That was a good setup for more skydrops, but it didn't happen. So I did a good dent in her, and I get a free turn here with the debuff. And now I have to be a bit more careful about what I'm doing with my board, so I'll take a little bit more concentration. I need to be conservative with my recovery orbs, but I do have shields handy, and I can work around her poison attacks. So there's that Godbind. It only went for one turn, which is convenient, because it's up to 3. I don't really need to clear it out because I don't have any green orbs here anyway. Okay, so there's her about 18k attack. Next up will be a poison orb change, so even if I didn't have any recovery orbs, I'd still have some time to recover from it. Best not to rely on that, because, you know, here comes poison orb change, and that could get rid of some of your recovery orbs if they happen to come back on the board. So let's clear all of those out, get some heals in there. Got a wood skydrop. And here comes a jammer attack. Okay, so she just jammed my heal orbs, which is troublesome. So a good opportunity for a shield here, because I won't be able to survive her next attack. What am I doing? Alright, terrible combo there. So next turn will be a poison attack, so I won't be taking any damage on this next one. So let's get my health back up. That'll give me some more HP from an auto recover. Good 3k. Alright, next up is a jammer. More wood skydrops. That's always nice. And again, I'm out of recovery orbs. I just didn't have any, so we'll use another Kushinada. Clear out these jammers. Okay, we've got poison up next, so I'm safe on this next turn, but I still want to recover. Need to be a bit more quick about my combos because I do have a reduction in orb time. So let's see. Alright, I'll heal back from that poison attack. Skydrop on the wood. Almost had a second one there. So we're going to have a jammer attack, and then since my debuff is out, that'll give me a spare turn between her 18k attack. And I can get a row in here. So let's try to be clever about this. Decent. Could have been better. Okay, so there's orb time debuff. Next up should be her 18k attack. And poison after that. And we'll use Ceres here. Just get a bit of buffer on my health. Alright, and now I have recovery orbs, so let us get rid of poisoned. Alright, gem the heal orbs again, so we'll use Kushinada, which my first one's back up. Second one's up on the next turn, so doing pretty well here. Some more nice wood sky drops. Okay, now we'll have another poison. I'll just use that there. That there. Did we do it? Ah, we're so close. Okay, Jammer attack next. Might as well start using some of these. Oh. Okay. She jammed my 2 green orbs. Okay, Fires of Deicide are next. Plenty of recovery orbs, so we'll get rid of this poison. No wood sky drops that time. Alright, this should do it. Provided I don't screw it up. I kind of did, but I got a match in there. Alright, we got it. And no plus egg, thank goodness. So there's Izanami. Not too bad with a Ceres team. Kind of fun. And I need 2 more of those now, so hopefully I'll have good luck with the Dark Izanami showing up. I hope you do too, because the new Kagutsuchi Ultimate, he's the first one with 3 2-prong attacks, and that will be fun to play with. I'll see you guys around.